Yeah.
Could have sworn when I took the tour as a kid that there were slave quarters, but I might have been wrong. And how nice was it of the Vanderbilt family to provide housing for the help? I mean, they get no credit for this. Oh, this is funny. She was showing me. And how nice was it? She was showing me this tweet or something. Somebody on Fox News had compared the LGBTQ rainbow flag. Are you familiar with the story?
No.
They were comparing it to the Confederate flag and wondering why people aren't making a big deal.
I thought it was the Ohio flag. Oh, sorry.
No. And I go, yes, and we're going to have to take down all those statues of Harvey Milk, too. That son of a bitch. It's just insane. I'm sharing because sharing is caring. All those statues of Liberace and Elton John, I want those taken down now. Those are oppressors. I'm all shared up.
Oh, the Biltmore House.
I don't know why you're giving me a hard time about this. You know, it is a massive destination.
Hey, maybe when you're done with that, you can go shopping all day long at Concord Mills.
Well, no, we were going to go to IKEA, take a little trip.
Yeah.
At that point,
some time at Williams-Sonoma.
At that point, I don't even need a vasectomy. I'll just rip my balls off. Here, we're going to IKEA. You can have these. I'm done. I've cashed in. I've given up. Do you know how much I would have to love that woman to go to IKEA? Do you know how much I would have to? It would have to be all consuming. Heathcliff and Catherine, or whatever the fuck her name was, they would have nothing on us. I can't remember. The Wuthering Heights couple.
Hold on here. Yeah, we're good.
We're
good. We're there. Hi.
Ready when you are.
Okay. By the way, the 11:15 coffee in the freezer.
That's the way.
Just perfect right now.
That's the way.
It is. It's got ice in it. It's not too hard. It's not
right consistency. It's Goldilocks.
It's just perfect.
Good for you.
This could be the beginning of I might start selling these, and the next thing you know, I'm going to call it Brad Books.
You're gonna have to like copyright the 11:15 thing. Nobody else can put it. You can put it 11:14 or 11:13, but no, that's mine. 11:15 is mine.
About 11:18.
See, you're gonna have to
slap
a trademark on it.
Hey, it's the Brad and Britt cast, our final one for this week. We're glad you're with us here live. Hi, in the 1:30 hour Eastern time, or later in the podcast universe, and I have I have an idea. Maybe I'm not the first one to think of this, but I haven't heard it, so therefore I'm going with it. Here we go. What is a 3-word ad slogan that you've heard in the middle of every summer, and when you hear it, you roll your eyes and you move on? A 3-word ad slogan heard every summer and you move on.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Ready?
What you're. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'll help you here. First word: holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Holiday. Blank blank. Holiday blank blank. It's a holiday. Not the word holiday, but it is. I'm describing it. We're on a $100,000 pyramid.
I know this is tough. 4th of July. Is it? I'm not sure.
Christmas in July.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a
right?
big one. Of course.
All
yeah,
right.
They do that.
So it's just another excuse to run commercials and say it's a Christmas in July Toyotathon or whatever.
Because they got all those studies that say retailers make 60% of their sales, between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Right.
And they're just trying to create another one of those.
Right. They're right.
They want 2 of them.
That's the whole goal.
Who doesn't want 2 of those?
Now, here we are, 3.5 weeks or so before Christmas in December, and we don't need to have Christmas in December this year, do we?
No.
Unless we want to create the situation that will have a surge on top of a surge on top of a surge, which by then we're probably going to be up to easily 3,500, 4,000 deaths a day.
We had 2,000 deaths in America yesterday.
With 3,000.
3,000 deaths.
We're up to 3,000.
Remember the people back in the summer, back in May and June, they were like, blah, 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 blah. Drunk driving kills, blah, 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 blah. Remember that?
Yeah,
has drunk driving ever killed 3,000 people in one day?
No, but planes going into buildings did.
Yes,
but
correct.
It didn't happen day after day after day. It was a one day, one-off thing. So to help, which I know this won't matter, and we'll go back to one of our shop-worn phrases of why do we do things, because that's the way we've always done it and we can't change. A responsible way to look at this is say, hey, let's do Christmas in July this year. By July, things will be great. And half of the country, when Christmas comes, they don't watch the forecast to see if it'll be a white Christmas, because it's Florida, it's Texas, it's California, it's Arizona. And if you've ever been on vacation or some at that time of year, Christmas it's just Christmas. It's just fine. And I swear to you, people in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and up in northern Maine,
the rednecks up in Michigan,
it would be perfectly okay if you didn't not only have a white Christmas, but you had a beautiful 85-degree and sunny Christmas. It doesn't diminish the holiday at all, and it would help things. Now, I know we're way too far into it, and I know all the shits. I get that, but
I have a question.
I'm just making a general statement.
Britt Whitmire, Fake News Network, sir. I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't this be portrayed as more of the war on Christmas? They're trying to subvert it. And they're trying to move Jesus' birthday when we know good and damn well the Bible says Jesus was born on December 25th, and you can't just celebrate on December 25th. Then you are a pagan son of a bitch soy boy.
I'm willing to take those slings and arrows if it helps save tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives. And
honestly, I love your idea, and I think this would be a great thing for Joe Biden. Joe Biden could get some of the large employers in America, get your Amazon, your Googles, your GMs, and he gets them together. No, hang on a second. Just hang on a second. No. You need to come with me on this journey. Come with me on this journey. You got to come with me on this journey. Some of the large employers, some of your Coca-Colas, your Exxons, he goes, here's what's going to happen. We have pledged that on July 25th, we're going to give all our employees the day off, and it's going to be like a holiday. And we're gonna make the federal employees have a day off as well. And we're encouraging all businesses to take July 25th off, and this will be our Christmas in July. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? Where did I take a wrong turn on that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it from an operational standpoint, but we have to live in paranoid political universe world.
Yes, we do, of course.
Where everything is culture war weaponized against you.
Of course.
And it needs to be, and you could just shut me down for even suggesting this. It needs to be the current president of the United States that would do something like that. No, I understand that, and I get that. The white evangelical base, as you said, the Bible says it has to be on December 25th. Right?
I got further on this.
By the way, does it really say that? No,
it doesn't say any of that. And in fact, there's a lot of evidence that he was born nowhere near December 20th. But again, I don't want to bring facts into this. I hate bringing facts into this. I have further. If the culture war people start pounding their fists, what you do is you have the CEO of Starbucks. I don't know who the CEO of Starbucks is these days.
His name's Kevin Johnson.
Okay, you talk to Kevin Johnson. You say, "Here's what we do."
And by the way, yes, I'm a shareholder.
Good. You should be. Here's what you do. You go, Kevin Johnson, would you throw a bone to the right wingers and put baby Jesus on one of your damn holiday cups and distribute them in July? Would you do that? And maybe that will pacify these idiots.
You expect corporate America to put its dick out on the table to have
I'm just saying, this apparently has been the great sticking point among a lot of conservatives for 20 years
it's
now.
one of them, yes.
Yeah. So put baby Jesus in a manger scene on one of your red cups and you'll throw a bone to the extra chromosome right wing conservative dicks.
But you think
there it is.
That stupid now completely animated cartoon Santa Claus on the Coke commercials. Now you get to put him out on a surfboard.
You can.
There are a lot of marketing opportunities. Christmas in July really has never been a real thing.
It's great.
But
it's like
if we went all in, and by the way, remember, in the Southern Hemisphere, Christmas in December is like Christmas in July to us because the weather's warm down there. A lot of people don't know this. Their seasons are the opposite of ours. A lot of people are not aware of this, and I wanted to.
God doesn't love Argentinians like he loves us. So don't. No, I would like all of corporate America to join in too. Those stupid polar bears in the Coca-Cola commercials, they could be visiting baby Jesus in the manger with the wise men and the camels and shit. We can do this. We can throw the right wingers a bone, lots of bones, Brad.
I think you're going a little soft on that. I think that those polar bears could be put on little tiny flotillas of ice, which continue to melt even more in the summer. So we could turn it into a climate change liberal fantasy.
Here's what
Christmas
I want.
in July.
I want to take it even further. At Easter time, I want the polar bears from Coca-Cola commercials. I want them to maul the Roman soldiers trying to crucify Jesus. Make that into a 30-second ad. You think I'm not buying Coca-Cola for the rest of my life? You're full of shit. That's exactly what I'm doing.
But see, you know what's missing from Christmas in the United States, for the most part, because it is in the winter time, is the whole summertime bikini babes vibe that you would have if it was really a summer holiday. Think of the 4th of July on steroids.
It's amazing because, the world is still so many commercials on television. The world is still run by, white guys our age who are losing our virility. You have 20-year-old girls in bikinis bobbing up and down on the beach celebrating Jesus's birthday. I see Hooters, your official Christmas in July headquarters. I love this idea. You've opened up so many new avenues.
Well, see, it's so simple, but the truth is, it would save lives. And let's play fantasy world. Let's pretend we're writing our version of West Wing 2020.
Okay,
and we had a real president.
Yeah, Bartlett.
For the last 4 years.
Josiah Bartlett of New Hampshire.
How about anybody but Trump?
Martin Sheen.
Anybody but Trump.
Right.
And back in January and February, as the coronavirus started to come into consciousness, and government officials were certainly aware of it, and even this president was aware of it, as he told Bob Woodward, as Joe Scarborough likes to say, on tape. No, it's on a disc.
Poor Bob Woodward.
It's on a hard drive, but it's
nonetheless.
It's not Bob Woodward's fault. Bob Woodward isn't using tape.
No.
Maybe
he is.
By the way, speaking of that, because we're into this whole retro making fun of ourselves deal here.
Yeah.
Lisa Robinson, the writer.
Yeah.
She's been writing for about 40 years. I've written a lot of great books about, she's been there with everybody in rock for the last 40 years. She's that person, right? Whether it's Mick Jagger or Bowie or Springsteen, she's been with all of them, right?
Exactly.
And she says that to this day, when she interviews someone, she brings with her not one, not two, but 3 old-fashioned cassette recorders, because she claims to be so technologically backwards that she can't just push a button like you do, say, on your iPhone. But she does it because one of her first big interviews, she'd only taken a recorder with her, and the tape blew up. And anyway, that's a complete sidebar, and I apologize.
Well, it's okay, but you can see how Bob Woodward would be hung up on tape. I mean, you can see how he would have a hard time getting that out of his head.
I'm not talking about Bob Woodward. Bob Woodward is digital.
Oh yes, he is all
he's
digital.
No, I'm saying that Joe Scarborough is a fucking moron for saying Bob Woodward had it on tape.
This is the same Joe Scarborough. He had to
listen to my words.
I'm gonna listen to your intent. I got to go back and play the tape so I can figure out if you said what you said when you said it. Right. This is breaking news. Wisconsin Supreme Court declines to hear Trump campaign challenge to election results. Brad, I believe that is the 42nd loss for Donald John Trump's legal team against one win. That one win changed dozens of votes and gave him 0 victories electorally.
Why are you lying? It's still in the 30s. It's in
No,
the
it's-
mid 30s.
No, it's 42. No, Mark Elias. No, it's
42.
It's 42 because it was
like
40.
like the number on Jackie Robinson's uniform.
Exactly.
That's 42.
That's the one. Mark Elias is the guy who you follow. He's a Democratic lawyer. Mark E. Elias on the Twitter machine. He had it at 41 with the loss in Pennsylvania. This would make at least 42, unless I missed somewhere in. There's at least 42 losses because some of the ones that they won, I think they won like one other one. It was appealed and they ended up losing that one. So that even there were maybe 2 wins for Trump, and one of those wins turned into a loss. So he's 1 win against 42 losses for the stellar dream legal team of Donald John Trump, Brad. Robert Kardashian and F. Lee Bailey, they had nothing on this dream team, did they? I want you to admit that.
I completely admit it. This is a new definition of the biggest loser. Mm-hmm. Because it's one thing. I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking because it's too stupid. And every time I say this, I just go, "Why do I even bother?" If Trump were a normal person, I can complete this, but I'm not going to complete it because he's not, and he isn't going to.
But there's other. See, the thing is, there's with other people, you can see a bridge to them getting to be a normal person. You can see a pathway to them becoming. With him, there's nothing there. There's no way to get to there.
There's no way. It's just beyond. It's just beyond. Did you see the polling coming out of Georgia? They've polled both races so far, and the Democrats are ahead in each one. They're ahead in each one.
Oh, God bless you.
Let me look up the numbers here. We got it.
And of course, this is ahead of Donald Trump's rally in Georgia on Saturday, Brad, where he aims to infect and kill some Republican voters ahead of that special election in January.
This is a Survey USA for Channel 11 in Atlanta. You know it as 11 Alive. Yes,
11 Alive.
John Ossoff is at 50 and Perdue is at 48%. So that's a statistical tie. But in the other race, Raphael Warnock, 52 to 45.
That's pretty good.
That's
good news.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And Sunday night at 7, as you probably know, there is a debate. Of course, Perdue refuses to debate because John Ossoff just kicked his ass, wiped the floor, and flushed him down the toilet the last time.
He destroyed him.
And the evidence since that last debate was about 6 weeks ago, I guess, right before the election, where there was all this news coming out about David Perdue essentially using insider information legally. He got cleared to make a lot of money back in the winter with inside information about the coronavirus, and he got away with it. And Ossoff turned and said straight to his face, you're not only a crook, but you're endangering the lives of all of your voters and my voters. And Perdue stood there like a statue and had nothing to say.
He couldn't do anything.
He was stripped bare. Now, since then, more news has come out about that. So the strategy, which now I think you can officially call the Cal Cunningham strategy, and we should put that stamp on Cal Cunningham forever, because we said 2 months ago when that dumbass fuckface got caught sending text messages to some bimbo that if the Democrats lost the Senate by 1 seat, his loss will be the margin. Well, right now, his loss is the margin. It is the margin unless the Democrats win both races in Georgia on January 5th. So we have one debate between Kelly Loeffler, who I'm sure is a dreadful debater. I'm sure she's terrible. And Raphael Warnock, who is a practiced public speaker. And I think he's going to just kick her ass. Don't you think?
It's time for the big stage.
They've got all the cards. They've got all the cards. And he gets to put her on the defensive. And I'm sure the questions will put her on the defensive about how can you tell Georgians to go out and vote for you when your own president doesn't accept the results of last month's election, and you have members of the president's team, whether the president's team has turned on Lyd Wood and Cindy Powell, but they're saying, don't bother to vote. You can't trust the election. She's going to have to explain that. And as you know, there is no explanation for that, except that you're dealing with a crazed, psychopath, deranged nutball. And I'm not even talking about Trump. He's but these are half of the other people. So he's already got at least a 5-point lead margin of error.
Don't you believe that my cogent point is that he's creating an event on Saturday where more Republican voters could actually get sick and die ahead of the January election?
The timing is perfect. He goes there Saturday,
right,
and Sunday night at 7:00, these two have what's going to pass for a debate. So
I did see there was a story in Politico that said they're kind of worried about what he's going to say. There's some people that are afraid of what he's going to say at this particular rally in Georgia.
I'm not afraid.
I can't wait. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the people who allegedly he's trying to help.
Oh,
they're afraid of how far off of the rails he could possibly go.
Absolutely. Sure, go ahead.
Which I think is well,
as we know, there's no backing down. There's no, now I'm the voice of reason. Oh, I didn't mean it. I was just making that up. I was just having fun. He has to go all in. He has to keep doubling down and splitting the car. What happens in Vegas when you think you can really double down and then split and keep? Eventually, it all blows up in your face and you lose.
You're damn skippy hippie.
It happens every time. You should take your winnings and walk away. And Trump is the ultimate example of he can never, when he is in the lead, walk away. And he isn't in the lead this time. He's lost.
What is it that Kramer says? Pigs get slaughtered, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what our friend Kramer says? This is from the article on Politico. Alan Peake is a former state legislator and self-described mainstream Republican. Quote, it's important that Trump comes in and focuses on the Senate election.
You know what? He doesn't even know the names of those people.
It's that one hot chick who I would bang like maybe second after I got, my daughter. I'd want to bang her, but it's important that Trump comes and focuses on the Senate election and not on the peripheral sideshow of whining and complaining and making baseless accusations, says Mr. Peake. But that's kind of been his mode for the past 4 years. I don't think he will change, so I'm very concerned about this on Saturday.
Well, if there was ever a moment that is teleprompter proof, okay, impossible for him to stay on any kind of message, which, what's his message going to be? His message is going to be, I got screwed, and let's not get screwed some more. I get there's a deep, dark conspiracy theory that Trump really wants to make sure that the Republicans lose, because if and this is a stretch, because I don't think he's going to be a candidate in 24, no matter what he says, but let's just say that he really thinks he's going to be one.
Right.
He would rather have at this moment a Democratic Congress completely enacting Joe Biden's program so that he can run against them, as opposed to whatever would pass for gridlock and nothing happening on Biden's watch. That's a really fucked up way to think of things, but then we're talking about Donald Trump.
And look, I don't care. I think from the Biden point of view and from the Democratic point of view, I think the message should be, if you want a stimulus check, if you want to be able to pay your mortgage, if you want to be able to pay your rent, you better vote for these two Senate candidates in Georgia. And I don't see any problem with that, because that is your best bet right now for you to feed your family, pay the rent, and pay your mortgage, is to have these two guys. That's going to be the way to get the stimulus package and money into the pockets of the American people. And I don't give a shit if they talk about big government and socialism and blah, 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 free candy and borrowing money from China and punishing your grandkids. Fuck you. My family is this far from the street. Give me the money right now. We can have debates about socialism and whether Hugo Chavez really is dead and all this other horse shit. These two guys go in. The Senate becomes Democratic, and it becomes a hell of a lot easier for Joe Biden to get those checks into the hands of the American people who need them terribly right now. I think that's got to be front and center. That's a message that the American people can deal with and understand.
No, that's certainly part of it. And I think you can drill down even more granular than that, just in general, because clearly the best way to keep people afloat right now is to just give them money to spend. That's just the best way. You come up with like paycheck protection programs and
Yes.
bureaucracies, and what's happened that we've been learning. Those programs get abused.
Yep.
They end up going to people who shouldn't have them. What was it? The top 50 companies got $10 million a piece that had no business getting their hands on it the last time. And the best way to do it is direct payments to people.
Yep.
But I think you can go down below that, get more granular, and talk about restaurants.
Yep.
Restaurants are the bedrock of so many communities, and not just small cities, but larger cities, because a restaurant doesn't just employ people in the restaurant. They buy from every kind of other business, every kind of other vendor you can imagine, from flowers and cleaning services.
Absolutely.
and security and just everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the death of restaurants. And I saw a piece today that we're on the track to lose 3/4 of the restaurants in this country.
That's stunning.
And you know what that means? That means you are just left with big chain restaurants.
Right.
That's all that would be left if we stay on this track.
Yeah.
And people were just hanging on by their fingernails.
It's your Olive Gardens and your Chili's and your TGI Fridays and all that shit.
That's it. That's all that's left. That's
Yeah.
all. And
it's kind of a frightening.
And if that's the kind of, you want to make America great again, open the restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, pay the restaurants to stay closed so that they can stay around.
That's right.
Everybody can keep paying their bills, and we get this vaccine distributed largely enough to get people to have the confidence to go back out, which brings us to the 3 two-term presidents. That
Yes.
would be Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush, who have said they're ready to take the vaccine. I love this story. I assume that it was just those three, and it wasn't intentional that they said to Jimmy Carter, you don't get to get the first of all, he's well into the age group that should be getting.
He would be, absolutely.
So I don't think that's the discussion here.
This is from the Angry Staffer Twitter account, which is supposedly tweeted behind the scenes stuff for well over 3 years now. I'm told Trump is furious at what he thinks is Bush, Clinton, Obama attempting to take credit away for his vaccine.
All right.
He's being urged not to tweet anything petulant about it, so I'm sure petulance is imminent, Brad.
Right. So when I saw the fact that Bush, Clinton, and Obama are going to step forward, the first thing I thought of was, and we've had this discussion a million times on a million different issues, guess what, Trump? It's too late. You lost this one. Because there you've been going back to March, talking about Operation Warp Speed, and we're going to get a vaccine fast, and we're going to beat this, and you're going to be going to church on Easter of 2020. All right. Well, that didn't quite work out, but Operation Warp Speed conceptually worked. Now, it wasn't because of Donald Trump or the government. It was because
it was in spite of Donald Trump.
It was in spite of him. And, it was private companies, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna.
That's right.
Johnson & Johnson. These are all private companies that put their noses to the grindstone, and they have come up with this way of developing a vaccine that is different than every other vaccine going back all the way through human history. And that's why they were able to do it in such a short time. The technology has changed, like everything else in this country that's being changed by technology. The technology of developing a vaccine changed. And Donald Trump could have ridden that all the way to re-election if he would have been at all less irresponsible than he was, but he wasn't. He was the liar and the asshole and the, all the things that we know. And he could have said back in February, March, the minute that vaccine gets approved by the FDA and has its stamp of approval, I will be the first American to take it because that's how much confidence I have. Well,
Has he done
how could you say that when you're beating up Anthony Fauci every day? So he couldn't be that guy. So here we are, December, and what happens? We're a month past the first announcement of the 95% effective vaccine, and we got 2 or 3 more of them. And Trump, in this last month, has been caught up with trying to steal the election. That's right. He's the one trying to steal the election, Trumpers.
This is your witch hunt right here, guys. This is your witch hunt.
So instead of being the guy who said, well, that Monday after we got the first news from Pfizer was the first one out of the gate. He could have said that afternoon, I'm going to get it first, and I encourage every healthcare worker who's probably going to be at the front of the line and all the people in the nursing homes, let's start with them. He could have led on that. No one would have.
But no, he was too busy finding out how the ghost of Hugo Chavez invaded voting machines in Georgia.
Right. So here we are, and Obama, Clinton, and Bush say they're going to get it. And I say, number one, obviously, good for them. It's the responsible thing to do. And what does Donald Trump take that as? An insult to him. Okay.
Exactly.
It's just beyond discussion how petty and ridiculous and stupid that is. But I think, again, and we're in fantasy world here, Donald Trump, he still, and this is not going to happen. Barack Obama could do it. Bill Clinton could do it. Bush could, and any of them could do it. Any leader could approach some real opinion makers. The young folks call them influencers. If LeBron James rolled up his sleeve and got a shot, and you know who I thought would be another person? This kind of sounds weird. Who would be great to help people understand this is not going to kill you. It's not going after black people like the Tuskegee Airmen experiment. Okay. Mike Tyson.
Oh, wow.
Someone like Mike Tyson, people like that.
Yeah.
You need, this is a real chance for famous people to do something like that and not give any space for the right-wing fuckfaces on Fox to go, there's Hollywood again telling us what to do. Okay. But I really think you do need that kind of campaign this time around.
It wouldn't hurt.
To bring the, I don't know, what do you think it is? 40% of skeptics who are saying, oh, I'm not going to get, I love this. The people you're seeing get interviews saying, I'm not going to take it. It's too fast. It's too fast. Right. So what would you like? Would you like us to go, say, 4 years? Would you feel better about it 4 years from now?
But you also, to an extent, have to understand and appreciate that because Donald Trump has tried to throw sand and try to sow doubt on every other institution.
But wait,
right?
He's the one.
I understand.
This is so fucked up. He's the one that wanted it announced and approved before the election so he could brag about it.
Sure,
so he could have photo ops. So he could have himself getting a shot. But
name me a federal agency he hasn't shit on in the past 4 years. I
can't. There aren't any.
So and even in the food and I'll take the vaccine the second I'm able to get it. The Food and Drug Administration over the years, even in the best of circumstances, when it's had somebody as a champion for it, has made a mistake or two. And I'm not saying that they're making a mistake now, but you can't blame people when all this guy has done has shit on every government agency, everything possible. He's done that for 4 years now. So if people have some doubts that maybe they didn't have 3 or 4 years ago, then he's personally responsible for that. He shits on everything.
I understand that, but we have to get beyond worrying that he's personally responsible for this. We have to figure out a way to change people's attitudes real fast here. Because we know it's Trump's fault. This is not a discussion anymore. This is Trump's fault for setting the tone across the country. The tone of the person who would be least likely to be voted role model of this year or any year. But this is what you're going to listen to him for? Really?
This guy right now,
authority on this.
As we speak right now, he is retweeting footage from the One America Network of these hearings in Georgia where they're trying to.
They're not hearings. They're not hearings.
Shows
hearings are held by governments.
Well,
Okay?
he's tweeting this thing with his stupid legal team, not making good arguments, and they're going to lose whatever it is. So it doesn't matter. This is what he's focused on right now, and this is what he's doing. By the way, you have heard that about the White House with their holiday gatherings. They are saying, "Fuck it, we're going to have people in the White House, and they're going to be breathing all over each other and getting people sick as shit, and we don't care because America." You've seen this. And Kayleigh McEnany is defending all of this shit, saying, well, we really, we've got them down. There's small gatherings. And, oh, by the way, fuck you, America. That's essentially what Kayleigh McEnany has said and trying to defend this bullshit.
Right. Now, again, we're kind of beyond thinking that Trump's going to behave any differently all the way through, as if, this week suddenly, well, we're only going to have 1/3 of the number of people at our Christmas party, and they're all going to socially distance and wear masks. No, it's not going to happen. No. But let's talk more about the fact that all around the country, and it's a lot of Democrats, are flying for holidays, eating in expensive restaurants, having parties at the same time. They're getting caught. They're giving the right wingers the sword. They're giving them the ability to say, you're a hypocrite. You tell us to do this, but you do the opposite. Here's my answer to that. Okay. These are flawed human beings, every damn one of them. And everybody at a certain level, for some reason, when they reach some kind of power position in government, they think that they can get away with shit. All right. Beyond that, though, whoever said that it would be a good idea, and think for yourself here, if you're a supporter, if you're a Republican and you're watching Fox and they have a whole reel, it's the mayor of Austin, it's the mayor of Denver, it's Governor Gavin Newsom, look what all they do. These are such hypocrites. All right. True. Does that mean you're now going to have 20 people over to your house for Christmas so that you can get infected? Do you think that that gives you the license to be personally stupid with your own health and your family and your friends' health, because there are stupid politicians of every stripe? Think about it. None of them are role models. Yeah. The only role models we have are the ones in history, really, who are politicians, and we cherry pick for them. If Franklin Roosevelt was around today, we might find out that during World War II, he got illegal meat rations when the rest of the country wasn't allowed to have any beef, right? And if it was today, Franklin Roosevelt, he's a hypocrite. How can we believe him on the war if he does this? He says, and so all these people at one level, they all suck. The only two perfect people ever were Jesus and me. Okay. Yeah. We're the only two. Yeah. And I'm not even sure, I don't even know whether Jesus stayed in hotels or at Airbnbs back then.
Jesus was hanging out with whores. So I don't know. Yeah. You got to watch it.
But so these stories, they're annoying. They're disturbing. They piss me off because, as you know, like with the whole discussion now about defund the police, oh my God, when I see the lefty progressive Democrats, including there's a couple new ones who've just been elected, and they're going on TV right now saying Barack Obama doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. What do you mean we shouldn't say defund the police? It doesn't mean we don't want any police. It means we want responsible reform, and it doesn't matter. You are fucking losing that war every day, and Obama is so right.
He is 100%
so right.
It's some of the shittiest branding I've ever heard in my life.
It's some of the branding. It isn't branding.
No, it is Brad. It's branding. It's branding. You don't say that because you lose the argument right out of the bag. That's not what they mean. They don't mean defund the police, but when you say that, nobody cares after that. If you say, instead of calling it Coca-Cola, you call it diabetes in a jar. Here, take it. You lose. That's not going to sell. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. So it is a branding issue. What they mean to say is not that at all. What they mean to say is more, let's demilitarize the police. Let's have more of an emphasis on social work and on mental issues and on psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists. But that doesn't come out. Everybody grabbed onto defund the police, and it is a branding problem. And Barack Obama, his campaign was one of the better branding campaigns of all time. So yes, they need to stop doing that. And anybody who yells at him for telling the truth, as you said, is full of shit. They don't know what's going on. It's a huge branding issue for people because that's what they think that liberals are all about now is defund. It's terrible.
I can guarantee you that Sunday night in Georgia at that debate, guess what Kelly Loeffler's going to say to Raphael Warnock?
Yes.
You know, because that's all they've got are these slurs and these out of context, irrelevant things.
And what is that based in? Right. What is that based in? It's based in they want to go and have no police so that these black people can go and rape your daughter and steal your shit and take your that is what it is based in. That's the fear that they stoke.
I understand that. But to think that you're going to get beyond that by embracing it,
forget it,
and then explaining it,
forget it.
That it just doesn't work. You know, Christmas in July means Christmas in July. Okay, it's a perfect brand. Okay,
it is.
There's no.
It is, and it is what it says. What it says, and it says what it means. Yeah. And any liberal, I don't know where AOC stands on this. I guess she's the far left poster girl. That's ridiculous, and I think she gets way more attention than she should. But I also think she has some good ideas on this. She's full. There's just no defending this. You can't say, well, no, if we polish this turd a little bit, I think we can make it's not happening.
All right. It's three words. One of the words is the problematic word. It's defund. Defund means, Britt, I'm defunding you. That means you're going to be broke.
That
means you're going to have no money.
That's
all right. And I can't explain defund Britt by saying, well, I mean to just take away 20% of the money I was giving Britt that he was using to buy alcohol every week, and we're going to redirect that to a program to help Britt get off of his alcohol problem. No. If you're going to defund Britt, you're just taking away his money, and if I have to explain it, I'm losing.
Exactly. That's 100% right. In this case, I do agree with that.
You have a drinking problem you'd like to talk about? Is that what you meant?
Well, I mean, I drink, I get drunk, I fall down. What's the problem? There's no problem. And as usual, we buried the headline. The most important story of the day was that 46-minute video of Donald Trump bitching, vetching, moaning, and crying. I call it the stairway to heaven of bullshit. To their credit, many media outlets will not run any of this. They run maybe a little bit of him standing up, but it's just so full of factual bullshit and misinformation and disinformation that nobody, if you actually, I saw a few minutes of it, and even by Trump's standards, it is unhinged to the max. Have you managed to sit through more than 30 seconds of this crap?
No, I saw a 3-minute compression of it, but the important thing is, I think, and you got close to it, but the important thing is that Fox News didn't run it. Remember, they'll run anything.
I'm so shocked.
They will run anything.
I figured Sean Hannity would go. I figured Sean Hannity would go. I'm seating my show tonight. We're just going to run this and put the commercials in.
In fact, they didn't even. There weren't even any network cameras in there, right? That was a White House, an internal White House production,
absolutely
only, which of course was absolutely inappropriate. But let's not even go. He should be impeached for that too.
Right.
But you shouldn't be using the White House backdrop with that insignia to be making your case about your bitching about the election that occurred a month ago that you lost as the biggest loser in the 21st century in the presidency. And yeah, I mean, every day he's going to go with it. He's going to go out with his toes up, right? They have to carry him out, right? all that. I think you were way more right on this than I ever was. I thought I didn't think we'd get to this point. I have to admit, I never thought we'd be at this point right now.
With him still struggling and keeping hope alive and all this shit. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I may have undersold him myself. I'm not going to pat myself on the back.
Again, here we are at the point. Nobody could have predicted it would be this whacked.
It's unbelievable.
No.
But isn't it? I mean, I am somewhat heartened that media outlets like CNN and like you said, even Fox News, they're like, it was a video. It came out. We're not going to show you any of it.
No, they don't have to.
We're not. It's so mental. It's so we can't even dig through this shit and find anything newsworthy in this. So we're just going to tell you he did this thing and he lied his ass off for 46 straight minutes in the most mental way possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess you're just afraid to talk about Operation Veritas because they nailed CNN.
Yeah, they killed him.
Have you looked at what they supposedly got on CNN?
I saw it.
This guy who should be in prison. Okay,
James O'Keefe.
He hacks phone calls. He does all kinds of illegal things.
And you're being kind. He should be in hell. That's where he should be. That's where he should be.
And he's got a particular hard on for CNN.
He does.
So he hacks into one of their Zoom calls. I guess they have a 9 o'clock in the morning daily meeting on what the agenda is going to be all day long on the network. And supposedly the most horrendous thing that shows the bias in CNN is the president of the network, Jeff Zucker, saying, we're just going to call this for what it is. We're going to call the lies, and we're not going to allow this president to normalize this abhorrent anti-American behavior. And that's suddenly proof of CNN's bias. We've all been saying, all of us, that you cannot normalize Trump's aberrant behavior for 4 years. And because CNN refuses to do it, and because they're news anchors, and I'm not just talking about the opinion people at night, I'm not just talking about Chris Cuomo or Don Lemon. I'm talking about the people that the news readers all day long. They are saying Trump is lying. They do not hold back, and they should not hold back because, well, Trump is lying, and he did lose the election. And if that's bias, go for it. Have fun with it. But that guy should be in prison, and that's a bullshit story as far as I'm concerned.
No, it is.
There's not one thing that CNN has been doing in that area that I think has been inappropriate.
Of course not.
Recently, and I don't know whether you've noticed it, but on the other networks besides Fox, the doctors who are talking about the coronavirus and the way that the government they have gotten a lot more political in the last few weeks. They're basically calling out Trump and the administration. It used to be a little bit more
fair and balanced, nuanced.
It would be more euphemistically, if the government would have had a better response. No. If Donald Trump wasn't such a fuck up, is now what they're saying.
That's correct.
So if Donald Trump wasn't blocking, if Donald Trump had allowed us to speak 3 weeks ago in terms of a transition, we might be able to make sure that the vaccine is distributed more equitably and quickly than it might otherwise have been. It might work out anyway, because we do have a lot of really smart people who have been working on this, and some of them are going to stay around. Fauci on Thursday said, I ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
I have not gotten an offer to coach the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. I'm staying here in Washington.
I know that Joe Biden named one of the guys on his COVID task force is going to be that Vivek Murthy, who's just a brilliant doctor and one of the best out there. And
he was a Surgeon General for Obama.
Yep. So he's going to be on the team, and again, you just can't get any better than that. That's exactly what's. I mean, he's going to get Atlas back. That's what Joe Biden decided yesterday. He's got him back on the team. You got Tony Atlas this time.
The wrestler.
And he'd be way better than Scott Atlas. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. All right. Enough damage for another day and another week.
And we're off on Monday. Back on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. It's a holiday. It's Christmas in December.
We're doing Boxing Day a little earlier this year.
That's
what it is. Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk to you and or see you on Tuesday of next week. All right. Bye.